Okay, I'd like to call the, what month is it, November 12th meeting of the Finance Committee to order. A roll call, Alder Galvin.
Here.
Alder Dorf here, Alder Corpus Dax. Present. Alder Lefebvre. Here. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda. So moved. Moved by Alder Corpus Dax, second by Alder Lefebvre. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of minutes from the Joint Finance Personnel Committee minutes from October 29th.
So moved.
Moved by Alder Galvin, second by Alder Corpus Dax. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Regular business. Request by Alder Galvin, unless it's a different Alder.
Nope.
It says Gavin.
Yes, we'll add an L.
Gavin.
Gavin.
Oh, here we go.
For the
Pushing
police
the name.
department to work with IT to set a system on the city's request for services icon for citizens to report problems and request services. So, staff.
Matt Sorensen, our programmer, worked with Commander Warwick to get the following 17 items placed on the police department tab for request for services. Generally, it's always a work in progress, so maybe there'll be 18 or 20 next week.
Okay.
So we expect this to be live Thursday. So, and each one of these other items, a lot of these items just go directly email to a police individual will handle them.
I don't recall, does it give the user any kind of,
Feedback?
feedback as far as like,
Certain, a few of them do.
okay,
Mhm.
as far as like, it'll take 24, 48 hours over, okay.
Plus, they can request to have an officer contact them by email. They get a number assigned like the other ones,
Yep.
so they can use it as a follow-up if they're not happy with, or they don't see any results.
Or perhaps they want to commend the officer. I mean,
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
on the
And
officer.
well, and actually, there's a tab there to commend an officer, even to complain on an officer if they feel that's necessary. But the idea is not to be creating calls that are just going to sit.
Mhm.
But Commander Warwick has assured me that it's going to be looked at every day.
Yeah, so each of those categories that you have is basically there's a person behind the scenes for that. So if someone fills out like a nuisance property, go to Lieutenant Mahoney. And then there's a dashboard where myself will manage all the ones that are coming in and going out so that it doesn't sit there for 30 days. I mean, that would be poor customer service.
And would you say that almost all of these, it wouldn't be necessary to call 911 or the non-emergency number to get, I mean,
Well, there was much discussion on that, so
Yeah.
if someone chooses to go online and request service, there's like indemnification clause that we put in there with IT to say, hey, if this is an emergency, call 911. Then there's a checkbox on there that they have to confirm that they saw that indemnification language in order for them to submit that request for service.
oh, good.
Yes, so, because we didn't want, someone to report that they had a physical disturbance online. I know it's crazy that it sounds, then, 3 days it'll take us to respond to it. I just want to clarify though, there is no time, they might get an automatic generated email saying, thank you for submitting your request. We will
Right.
work on it, but there is no 24 or 48 hour time frame for them to, for us to follow up on.
Okay, well, we just have to try it, right? See if it works.
Yep, and we're going to split that, and I got an email this afternoon from Matt Sorensen. We're going to, because it's 18 categories, it's pretty long.
Yeah.
Matt and I are going to split that into 2 categories just to make it a little bit more user-friendly.
Okay.
I want to thank Kevin and Mike Dave. I met with them, and they've done a lot of good work on this, put some time into it, and I think the results are very well thought out.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All right, this is continually placed on the agenda. We could probably just.
I
pick it
think
up.
we could dispense with that. It's being continuously placed on the agenda.
Oh,
Just for informational purposes. But we are kind of done with it, so we could probably. take
oh,
it
we
off.
don't have to
Right.
continuously. Good, all right. So do we need, so what kind of motion do we need?
Receive and place on file, right?
Or approve? Or we already did? It doesn't say action, right?
I'm assuming just.
Okay.
And also, do you have an idea? Receive and place on file.
Over here, want to make it?
Sure. Make a motion to receive and place on file.
Okay. Second by Alder Lefebvre. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Request by the city treasurer to review and approve a resolution updating financial institutions the city does business with, or more properly, with whom the city does business with.
All right, I'm going to let our treasurer talk.
As part of the investment policy that you guys passed earlier this year, I said I would bring back this list of banks that we work with every 1 to 2 years. Last time we did this was October, November of 17, so it's been about 2 years. The only change I'm making from the one that was approved 2 years ago is I wanted to add Johnson Bank. It's a bank that we've been meeting with recently and talking with, and before I can even invest money with them, I need to get it approved by you guys. So,
Okay.
any questions?
Any questions? No? All right. I'll entertain a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve the request of the city treasurer to review,
update.
to update the resolution for the financial institutions.
All right.
Second.
Second by Alder Corpus Dax. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Request approval to purchase an E1 custom-built hazmat emergency response vehicle from Fire Service Incorporated for $861,372.52.
All right, I'm not sure if you have any questions. Of course, we have the fire department here, and we also have Diane Cruz here, who is from our purchasing department.
We have talked about this.
This vehicle, 50% of it was bonded in the 2019. We borrowed bonded $450,000.
Right.
And then Chief at one point decided that they could go bigger and go 2 vehicles to 1. So this is going out for a bid. Going out for
This went out.
actually we'll let Diane Cruz come up to the.
Okay.
This went out for RFQ. So we went through the RFQ process and we received 2 bid submittals, one from Fire Apparatus and one from Pierce, which is Fire Services. And the department went through both of the responses from the vendors, and they chose the Fire Apparatus and Equipment one. They chose the Fire Service one because they met all the specifications. And if you have any questions on how the department chose that, Chief Litton is here to address any of those questions.
Like, from the financial perspective, in 2019, we did bond $450,000 with an assumption that the second half would be bonded in 2020, which we have not yet. So if we do approve this contract and move forward with it, there is an assumption that then the other half would have to be borrowed in 2020. But there is also a 12-plus month lead time on this vehicle. So that's part of the reason why they went out for bid. If you choose to approve it and go forward and put a purchase order out there again, or you would have to. I'm not sure what the timeline is. Otherwise, do we wait until we actually have gone through the full 2020 bonding, which is in spring of 20? I'm not sure. I didn't actually talk to Diane. Is that an option? Your RFQ is now gone out. What timeline do you have to lock in this rate?
Usually it's only 90 days. So we would have to go back, and ask them if they would hold the pricing, or would go back out for RFQ. But it is a 365-day lead time on this, so.
Did we already approve the second half of the bonding in that 5-year bonding plan that we looked at?
We bonded
In the
5
fi-
years. Yeah, in the 5-year plan.
We have a 5-year
Yeah,
bonding.
but yes.
It's
The
in the
other
5-year
half would have
plan.
been in the 20 column.
So
Right.
technically,
We did.
that was
Okay, that part.
was
Correct.
approved.
Correct.
Right.
We
Yes,
that's
but we
right.
borrowed $450 in 19, and assuming we'd borrow the other half in 20. Yes.
No, that's the reason to have a 5-year plan.
Right.
So it's in there, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Okay, I just want to make sure that you understand the financial. We'll obligating 2020 borrowing for this other second half. If we move forward with this RFQ.
Unless you guys want to buy something else.
No, a motorcycle.
Bunch of motorcycles.
All right. Any other questions? No. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Alder Galvin. Second by Alder Corpus Dax. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Report on the cancellation of the city's contract with Adashi for scheduling software for GBMFD.
I am not sure. I don't know. Diane, were you talking to that, or we're going to let the chief talk right to that one?
Well, the chief's at home.
Well, do you have any questions? I know there was a memo attached in your packet.
Yeah, if you have questions, I'm going to turn it over to both Assistant Chief Ryan Gibbons and Chief Rob Goblin, who have been working through this process. It's been quite a lengthy process to get to where we're at today, but they specifically can answer any questions that you may have.
It just kind of looks like you weren't satisfied with the performance of what they were doing, and so you went to the second one in line. Is
I think
that?
that would be the understatement of
That's what the
perhaps
memo said.
of 2019.
Okay.
How long were you with Adash?
Just a year. I don't know if you guys want to address it. If you want to hear this, kind of.
Come on up and tell us what went wrong.
Yeah.
Can you
Yes.
state your name for the record, then we have it.
Ryan Gibbons, Assistant Chief.
Thank you.
We went live with them, or we were anticipated to go live in June of 2018, and that got pushed back until the beginning of 2019. So we were essentially on the system exclusively through 2019 to currently right now. We had problems essentially from the get-go. We've tried to work through those, and it got to a point where we don't feel that we're going to ever get to where we need to be. And we needed to look into a different direction. We were promised a lot of things that were in development when we went this direction, and all of them have not come to fruition. It's a constant struggle day to day, the time that we spend trying to work around the system instead of the system working for us. So that's when I approached Chief and we decided that we needed to look at another option because this was just not working for us. And that's where we are today.
If I'm understanding this correctly, we spent around $40,000 for this.
Yep, and that's the annual price that we would spend on another system also.
Okay, so we don't really
It's kind of
lose
a wash.
anything. It's kind of a wash,
Yes.
because we would have to.
We're not
spend
asking for
money.
any money back.
Nope. No, so we've discussed this with the legal department. All of the things that I guess their take on this is that they have done some things, but they have not essentially went to a complete breach of contract. What the system is supposed to do, can we do some of the things? Yes. But does it make our life easier? No. And we're trying to kind of maneuver around the system to make it work. So they haven't went that far. So the money that we're owed them for the year, we owe them that money, and then we would switch over to someone else.
And they wouldn't give us anything for canceling the contract, right? We wouldn't get a penalty
No.
for that? Okay.
No, there's a 60-day exit clause in the contract for any reason, and talking with city legal that was the best way to go, is to just use the 60-day exit clause and not try to go through the breach of contract and any litigation that would fall out of that.
And these are normally a year-to-year contract.
Yes. Yeah, that's where we were at. Them was paying them year by year. They had given us pricing out that we could lock that pricing in, but they're fully aware of us ending the contract, and they knew it was coming.
With this new company, do we have the same advantage if after 1 year, if we're pleased or very pleased with what they're doing, can we get into a longer-term contract, maybe save a few dollars that way?
We could possibly do that. We have the pricing right now. We have asked for some of that to see where we're at. They have already given us quite a discount by bundling this together with what you see in front of you,
Okay.
which is saving the city money.
Sure.
Yeah.
So is this really an action item or just a
Well,
report?
there are two items. Number 4 is just a report about the cancellation process, so probably it would be received and placed on file to make sure that, full transparency, we want to let you know, you guys agreed to do a contract a year ago, and now we have chosen to get back out of it, and then they wanted to explain reasons why they've gotten out of it.
Right.
Then your second item, there is going to be an action item, and
We're
that
getting
is
to
going
the
to the
next,
next.
right.
Next,
Right.
I'm keeping
So
this.
stay here. You can stay here. 'cause we're seeing right.
So first one would probably be received and placed on file that
Okay,
they
okay.
brought to the
Make that
reports.
motion.
Okay, second. Motion by Alder Galvin, receive, place on file, second by Alder Crocus Dax. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. So then request approval to purchase staffing, training, and inventory management software from Target Solutions for $40,205.
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Alder Galvin, second by Alder LaFave. No other questions? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you for the explanation.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Diane.
This next item, I really would like to have a motion to go into closed session. I'll read the item. Consideration with possible action regarding a contract revision for animal impound services. Could I?
Can I just ask a question? Is there any reason why we should go on?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion that we go into closed session.
Okay, motion by Alder Galvin.
Second.
Second by Alder Corpus Dax. And then I'll read the committee may convene in closed session pursuant to section 19.851E Wisconsin statutes for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. The committee may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to section 19.852 Wisconsin statutes to record any actions taken during the closed session and to consider all other matters on the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're in closed session. In open session, I will entertain a motion on item 6.
Motion to approve the contract with Wisconsin Humane Society.
Okay,
Second.
second by Alder LaFave. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 7, report of the Claims Committee. Do you guys have any questions on, I read through the claims items. Really have any questions? No? Motion received and placed on file by Alder Galvin, second by Alder Corpus Dax. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, and then I think we just go to informational. Contingency is at $60,808.73. And the next Finance Committee meeting, will it really be held?
Well, and that is the question. That would be
Yeah.
the next calendar one. That would be the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
I will be out of the state.
Okay?
I mean, I'm surprised we're even having council, because this is the first year we've ever had council. But that has always run into that week of Thanksgiving, so I would, you guys want to have finance?
I'll be here, so
I'll be
doesn't
here
matter.
too. My
Right,
family's
but sometimes
in
we think
Indiana.
about
We're
staff and
here.
learning for some time.
You guys gonna be here?
At this point, I'm not aware of anything that needs to go on that agenda. So,
We don't have
Oh, then
anything as
maybe
of
there
right now.
won't be even any.
So it
There's
might
no
just be
way.
canceled anyway.
Yeah.
It might be.
or you have the option of leaving it scheduled and then a week prior we can
find out.
cancel.
Especially
Should we
depending on
do
what
that?
is on it.
Yeah. I would say we would leave it open and then have to cancel if there's nothing there.
All right.
You're the chair, you can decide.
Oh, I'm the chair, I can decide. 'Cause I don't really agree.
Personnel, do you believe
I mean,
there's
I-
anything coming on the
We can keep it open and then if
26th?
they cancel it, if we don't have anything, we can.
That means, though, that perhaps staff can't make any plans to do, all right. No, none of our staff has plans. Okay. We'll leave that open, and if there isn't anything, then we'll cancel the meeting. All right. That's it. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the finance.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. All right.